Well, a very good morning to you all. This is Natalie Ashdown with you from Open Door Coaching. Welcome to our morning mindfulness for Mental Health Awareness Week 2020. And welcome to Wednesday, everybody. It's nice to be here with you in the morning and just sharing a little bit of mindfulness together to start our day together. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and the custodians on the lands on which we meet today and their continuing connection to the land, waters, and communities of Australia. We would pay our respects to them and to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So, no agenda for this morning. If you're new to our morning mindfulness, welcome. We're doing this all week, actually, just as a reminder about how mindfulness and meditation is such an integral part of our mental health. There's a growing body of research that shows that mindfulness reduces stress and anxiety, it improves attention and memory, it promotes self regulation when we get stressed and when we get anxious, and it creates empathy for people with situations that are different for ourselves. And there's a lot of research actually that shows that brain scans and brain functioning and the impact of mindfulness and the regulation on all of our body parts. And it's really nice to sit here this morning and think, am I a little bit tired? Am I a little bit sore and stiff? How am I actually feeling this morning? And to really check into our bodies as we do that. So that's what we'll be doing today. Well, I have to tell you, ugh, I was on a 141-day streak with my mindfulness. And for those of you that weren't aware, back in May in Coach Week, I was on a 50-day streak, and and I love my statistics. And I broke that streak just during Coach Week, actually. And you will not believe it, but my 141-day streak is over. I am back to zero because I stayed up way too late. I know, Tanya, no, I stayed up way too late last night, and when I realized it was after midnight when I meditated, and it just makes me laugh really because I do love that streak. I do love noting how many days I've been doing this in a row. But the most important thing is actually that every 5 minutes we spend in mindfulness, every 10 minutes we spend in mindfulness at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, it all really counts and it all really adds up. So I am, well, here in front of you saying, yes, if you stay up way too late, that gets in the way of your mindfulness. And it can mean that you break your long streaks. But anyway, there was a tiny part of me last night that went, oh, I won't do it then. And I'm like, are you joking? This is actually part of what we do. So there you go. And of course, if you're interested, there's lots of great apps out there on mindfulness. This is the one I actually use. Well, let's drop into our mindfulness. I want to give you a slightly different version of mindfulness this morning. We will still do our box breathing as we have been doing together. So we're breathing in for the count of four. We're holding for the count of four. We're breathing out for the count of four. And we're breathing in for the count of four. So I will count you through that as we go in for the count of four, holding for the count of four, then out for the count of four, and then holding for the count of four. But today's visualization that you might like to enjoy, and this is one of my favorite visualizations, and that is of the soundboard or the dashboard. I love to think about different resources that we have inside us and that we can dial up our resources. Or there might be some things within ourselves that we need to just dial down. So maybe we've been really relying on some adrenaline or some energy to get us through to a deadline. Maybe we just need to breathe here this morning and dial something down a little bit. Maybe we've been really focusing on talking and communicating and getting our message out, and maybe we need to just maybe dial that down a little bit and dial up something else. One of our clients who joined us on mindfulness contacted me straight afterwards last time we did this exercise and said they had dialed up empathy and they were going to take empathy into their day And then they shared with me later that they had taken empathy into their day and it had a massive difference to the way that they handled meetings. They shared with me that the outcomes that they achieved from the meeting, they wouldn't have achieved if it hadn't have been for mindfulness in the morning and actually dialing up empathy. So it's a good thing to think about as we sit together, as we're doing our boxed breathing, think about what are the resources that we could dial up today that we could call upon for the rest of our day. I love the dashboard. We can just think about playing with the dials up and down, just making those ever so slight adjustments as we need to. So let's drop into this together. You can do this mindfulness activity together as a community, part of Open Door Coaching alumni and community. You can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. I actually, as I'm delivering this with you or facilitating and guiding this with you, I'm actually got my eyes closed. So I'm doing this with you. And my feet are nicely planted on the floor. I'm sitting upright, but if you still happen to be on the couch or in another environment, you can lie down, whatever you prefer. And as we sit here and we drop into our meditation, our jaw will go a little bit looser, our eyes will go a little bit softer. And as we scan down our bodies, let's just draw our attention to our breath now. And as we scan down our bodies, just let our eyes loosen, let our jaws loosen, let our shoulders and neck loosen a little bit. Squeeze those hands and let them go floppy, all the way down through our trunk, our torso, down through our legs, and wiggling our toes a little bit. And as we focus on our breath, there might be distractions in the background. There might be thoughts that come and go. There might be noises, but we're just going to let them fade into the background just in this moment as we focus on our breath. And when you're ready, we'll breathe in together. Nice deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, and we'll hold. 2, 3, 4. We'll breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. In we go again. 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. In, hold, and out. And hold. In, hold, and out. And hold. As we breathe in now, let's just think about a resource that we might like to dial up ever so slightly for our day today. On the next breath in, you can just ever so slightly adjust that dial on the dashboard. Breathing in, making those subtle adjustments on the dashboard. Just focusing on our breath and breathing in those resources that will take us through the day. Maybe it's creativity, maybe it's empathy, maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's compassion, maybe it's your ability as a great coach to be present and listen. Whatever it is for you as we focus on our breathing. Remember to keep those eyes soft and our jaw nice and soft. This is easy, we're not working hard on this. On the next out breath, perhaps there's a dial that could be dialed down ever so slightly. You can make those subtle adjustments now. Breathing in those resources from your toes. And making the subtle adjustments as you breathe out. And when you're ready, you might like to give those toes a wiggle, give those hands a bit of a flex. You might like to open your eyes, or you might like to stay here for a few more minutes, entirely up to yourself. My morning mindfulness, I like to give a nice big stretch and really breathe in all the beautiful resources. Stretch out our bodies. And I don't mind telling you, I joined you this morning just a little bit tired, and I'm leaving you this morning feeling energized and ready for a great day. So, thank you for joining me at Morning Mindfulness, and I look forward to catching up with you the next time together. Have a wonderful day, everybody.